Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, Dina J from Around the Way. So I get asked a lot, so what changed after you got divorced? What was different? What changes? Everything changes. I will say that there were some obvious things that will change, right? Your living environment, I hope. Your finances, for sure. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, man, woman, no matter what, always take care of your own finances and have your little stash or whatever. If anything goes left, have your own. And I did have my own, but having that dual household like really was nice until it wasn't, right? So just make sure you got something so that you can land. I was able to buy my house and do all the things and have my down payment for my house when I got divorced. But when I tell you I felt that burn financially, whoo, child. But anyway, one thing I wasn't prepared for was the change in my friendships. There were friendships that I had gained from my marriage that I really, really valued, and I didn't expect to go away at all. And some of them did. I really had to check myself for having an expectation that certain people would still be around once we got divorced. And that was really painful because some of the relationships I valued, but I will say that some of them people didn't need to be a part of my life from the very beginning because they were a part of keeping the betrayals from me anyway. But I will say they definitely changed that in that perspective. And naturally, in my world, you know, we were coupled with other couples. So there were a lot of couples that were a part of our circle as we were married that you kind of get distance from because you're not coupled anymore, right? So you're not doing the couple things. But on the flip side of losing some of those friendships, some other friendships got stronger because some of the wives in the couple circles became like my girls now. Like they're a part of my tribe, my mama tribe now. And that was a blessing because those relationships were starting to like formulate and get closer while I was in my marriage. And I really valued, you know, some of those relationships. Like, oh my God, they're beautiful women. And I was very nervous about losing those relationships. And I vocalized it too. Like I told them, I was legit scared to lose y'all. But they stayed right there with me and they loved me, and I was able to, I'm able to have those relationships now when we're raising our children together, and it's such a beautiful thing to have. But I will say, yeah, the friendships definitely change, and your needs changed. Now you are single again, right? So now you have to learn how to be single again. And, you know, it's just like, everybody's like, okay, you just single now. And I'm like, no. You went from, I went from being this wife, meal prepping, cleaning the house, taking care of someone. And I was taking care of home, like things were being taken care of, to now putting all that energy back into myself. And while I was in heartbreak, I didn't know how to do that. And I definitely, while I was a new mother, I didn't know how to do that, you know, caring for my son now. So that care shifted to my child, but I completely lost how to care for myself. And actually, that started to happen in my marriage as well, because I was just so heartbroken and all the things were happening. But then you need to learn what your home life is going to be. I had to establish a whole new routine for me, just me, and now my son as well. And that routine took some time to like get used to. And now I understand what I need to have for myself in order to be okay. Another thing that will change for you is just how you are moving out here in the dating world. I haven't had any issues with dating or anything like that, but I will say that how I date now is very different than how I dated before I got married and before I even was dating my ex-husband. Like how I view dating, what I look for, what I'm hyper vigilant about is totally different. I would say that It sucks for the man that really locks me down after my ex-husband, because he gonna have to work for me. But more so, it's not even so much of like, you gotta earn me type of thing. It's just more so like, yo, I need to make sure you're a good person. I need to make sure that you have values. I have to make sure that you have integrity. I have to make sure that you're not a cheater. I have to make sure that you're not gonna hurt me. I gotta, make sure that you're emotionally safe for me. I have to make sure that I'm gonna be good with you, because I've worked so hard to establish life without anyone else but me and my son, and out of marriage now, that I don't want nobody coming in and disturbing the peace for me. Like, no, thank you. And another thing that will change is just how your mindset shifts from everything that you were preparing for to be married and to be a husband, wife, or whatever title, to now just being. Like, I think that our relationship with ourselves, our singlehood, needs to be the thing that we give the most care to. And too often people don't give care to their singlehood in the way that they do a relationship. People are so willing to like work on a relationship and work through everything to have a relationship sometimes, and they then neglect themselves, and it definitely should be the other way around. And I did the same thing. I most definitely should have been really vigilant about how I was in relationship with myself and how I was caring for myself versus, being the everything to this man. Like, because I would have learned some things that I needed to do differently, and what I needed in dating and someone and a partner differently, had I taken that time in my singlehood. But I was so pressed to be married by a certain time. I was so pressed to be a mother by a certain. I was so pressed that I kind of took my singlehood and tucked that over there and focused on being everything to this person and being the best wife and the best this and the best that. Nah, that I definitely should have focused on my singlehood. So refocusing I learned how to focus on my singlehood. I learned how to be with myself and be okay with myself. Even in dating, like, I'm good by myself. Like, one thing it will change for you is that if you're married, like, you're with your partner, y'all are doing life together and things like that, and I had to relearn how to be me alone. I go to dates by myself. I enjoy time by myself. I travel by myself. The first time that I actually traveled by myself was in my marriage, because I just needed to get away. And the way that trip really like served me was amazing, that now like I really enjoy being by myself. I love company. I love me a good male energy, honey. But I'm also okay being by myself. I'm not male-centered anymore, if that makes sense. I really, really enjoy me. I really enjoy being me with my son. And when he's away with his father, I am having a good old time by myself. I go on dates. I hang out with my girls. I make sure that I have time to enjoy me. And that's really important too after you get divorced. Another thing that will change is your family dynamics. The family dynamics are going to change once you get a divorce. On my family side, I needed to like get them to a point where they knew and felt like I was good. Like, I'm okay. I am okay. And I also needed them to understand how to support me, right? I will say that I kind of pushed my family aside a little bit when I was married, and that was probably not the best thing to do, but I was navigating that, not sure how to do it, but I was so focused on my marriage and focused on my ex-husband and what he wanted and what he liked and what he thought was best, that I kind of shunned my family to the side. And when I was going through the divorce, I had to invite them back into my life and really reconcile certain pieces of my relationship with them because of how I pushed them to the side a little bit, particularly my mom and my sisters. And I never should have done that, but I did, and I learned from it. And I will, entering into another relationship or a marriage, I will let them know, like, my family is my world to me as well. So they're a part of my life and they're going to be here. My ex-husband didn't wasn't really inviting to my family. I think I shared that in another video about the red flags. So I took on some of his lack of with regard to how he referenced my family, and I would never let that happen again. So for me, I had to invite my family back into my world. And as far as my girlfriends were concerned, not much changed on my friendships with them, but I also had to remind them that it was okay to invite me out to things and places, even though, like, they knew that I was divorced and I was, you know, I'm ready to be out and about. Like, they would forget about me because now I'm a mother and things like that. And they're like, oh, we was figured that, you know, a lot of them would assume that I was going through this healing journey and I needed space. And I'm like, yeah, all of those things are good, but that doesn't mean that I don't want to hang out with y'all. Like, invite me out. Let me be the one to be like, no, I'm good. But a lot of them were really delicate about making sure that they gave me space, that sometimes it was too much space and I felt left out. And I had to, like, remind them that I needed to be invited back into the world. Like, come on. No, and then I think probably the last thing that will change is just your relationships outside of friendship, you know, like your work and how you interact with people at work and how the language that you need to use now that you're divorced. And you need to get used to being comfortable saying, like, oh, I co-parent, or my ex-husband, or whatever. Like, you know, you got to get used to that. It took me a minute because I would catch myself saying husband sometimes, like, ugh, I'm not married to him anymore. But now it's nothing for me to mention that I'm divorced. It's nothing for me to say that I co-parent. It's nothing for me to be like, oh, my son's with his dad this weekend, because honestly, like, it's just life. It's a part of life. It's what happens, and it is what it is, okay? So anyway, that's all I wanted to share. It was just a quick video about some of the changes that I experienced after divorce. Money, friendships, okay? Both couple relationships, friend relationships, how you treat yourself, how you're in relationship with yourself, how you date, and then how you regard your life after divorce in the world is also a part of how things change. But let me tell you this. If you're going through a breakup or anything like that, getting divorced, you're going to be okay. And you are going to learn yourself in a whole new way that's going to be so beautiful. I promise you. All right? Well, anyway, time for me to go. If my content is resonating with you, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Also, you can find me on all social media handles shared above. And yeah, that's it for now. I will catch you in the next video next week. All right? Bye!